I can look at him and tell that he has been in jail.
What?
Your real father was that kind of man, in and out of jail. I hope that you're okay. I really do.
I am.
And thank God your stepfather came along, because you'd be right there in the gutter with your father.
Can you not?
All right, Zatima fans. So the most intriguing part of Fatima's mom coming up at the ending of episode 4, leading into episode 5, is the fact that, well, even though Fatima described herself as, or her family from, oh, you have no idea about the kind of life my family leads, illegal activity and all the things my family's done, it makes everything you've done that look like child's play. But apparently, maybe that's not the case. Now, it turns out her real father, her birth father, was like a street thug, jailbird, and as her mom explained, pretty much in the gutter. And at some point, she left her, I don't know if they were ever married, but she left Fatima's father and took her with her, and then she winded up finding someone new. And Fatima, and the way she described it, Fatima's stepdad came into the picture and pretty much turned their whole life around. So that could mean one of two things. Perhaps Fatima's mom was just like her dad in regards to a dead-end lifestyle, illegal activity, and then found maybe after having a daughter that this wasn't the best way to raise a child and decided to uproot from her, her past husband or her boyfriend, whatever Fatima's real father was to her, and then find someone else. Basically, go from Aladdin street rat to living in the palace, which kind of gives off when we first met Fatima's mom, it kind of felt like, oh damn, okay, she's probably the wife of maybe like a drug lord or mafia boss. Like the way she comes across as like a no nonsense character who you do not want to play with. But in reality, now it's like, oh, she's just bougie, which Zach did describe her as. But after hearing about the whole situation with Fatima's father, it's like, oh wow, okay, that's the situation. But other fans I've spoken with since the episodes became available to stream said, well, I don't know, Jeremy, maybe Fatima's mom is about that life, but she just decided to change to do something better, in terms of to avoid the illegal activity. But it's kind of weird for her to be like, I can tell he's been in jail, when referring to Zach, when it's like, but your daughter has been in jail. And the way she's coming across is like Miss Lisa in terms of, I know my daughter. And it's like, yeah, she could tell something was wrong with Fatima based on like her voice over the phone and when they were talking in person. But the problem is, just like Miss Lisa, do you not know your daughter's crazy streak? The way that she can, destroy other people's property, threaten them with baseball bats, brass knuckles, and thugs. Something tells me, Madam is that cousin that Fatima's mom didn't want her to hang out with at all because, your cousin's a bad influence. Because if you just look at the Fatima we've known up until this point in Sistas and Zatima, her mom doesn't seem to fit the bill of the thug, intimidating, family that she portrayed herself to be. It's like an 8 Mile. This guy's a gangster. His real name is Clarence. It's kind of like that, where she builds herself up and her family to be all this like mob, thug, mafias type stuff. But in reality, it's like she just comes from an uptight family. And I'm guessing the thug and everything comes from her dad's side as opposed to her mom's. But like I said, we don't really know. Perhaps when we get to the, I think, mid-season finale, where we get to a point where we meet Fatima's parents, her mom and stepdad. But keep in mind, we're only going to see the stepdad, who seems to probably be like an uppity, bougie business type of person, where he'll look down on someone like Zach, because Mona even said, you know what, we look forward to meeting Zach, but I'll give him a chance, but I know your father won't. So it's just one of those situations where, you're going to judge somebody, but, your shit stinks too, not to mention your daughter. I'm just really wondering, wow, does this woman really know her daughter as well as she thinks? So, yeah, with that being said, you could tell Fatima didn't, like it too much when Mona was talking bad about her father. So I could see a little, flashback or just some story about how Fatima, maybe it took her a while to warm up to her new father because, You know, maybe Mona had to, like, you know, dress a certain way, tell Fatima to act a certain way in order to impress this man who would soon become her stepfather, in order for them to start over and have a new life. Kind of in a way like a Jazzman's Blues, but instead of passing off as white, I forgot the character's name, but whatever her name was, but her and her mom, but in the sense of Fatima and her mom, it was a matter of trying to act like they were upper class or something, but they really weren't. So with that being said, yeah, hopefully we learn more about Fatima's parental figures, which we will in due time. But yeah, I found it very interesting that it seems that the whole thug family thing wasn't as bad as she made it out to be, unless you count Madam, of course. Not to mention, is her father still alive? Is he in jail? What's going on with that? So like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one.